everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Collection Comic of the Week. Keeping with the theme of New 52 November this month, I have picked out one of the first New 52 books that came out, and that is Detective Comics #1, written by Tony S. Daniel, art by Ryan Winn, and the cover art by Tony S. Daniel. This was when I was first setting up my pull list for the New 52, I went through the online store for Midtown Comics, and you had to have 10 books in order to do a pull list through them. At the time, I was working a minimum wage job, and I really couldn't do much more than the 10 that were required of me, so I was going back and forth between, do I go Batman proper or Batman Detective Comics? I was going back and I was like, well, Detective Comics was the oldest running book featuring Batman, so I went Detective Comics. And this run was okay. This opening book was really good. But while I was getting okay from Detective Comics, over on Batman proper, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo were making history. So, much like on the last episode where something came around, came a little late to the party and then had to hunt down all the books. That's what I did with Batman proper while I was here reading Detective. Just hoping that we got the Batman stories I so crave. But even though it kind of seems like I don't like it or I'm kind of downplaying it, at least this first story arc was pretty damn good, and from there it just kind of drifted into mediocrity. But let's take a look at the first issue. So I get a real good look at the Tony Daniel cover. He was an artist that also kind of had his hand in writing, and he's kind of a polarizing writer in the comic book world. I know quite a few people not really a big fan of his writing compared to his artwork. I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination, but like I said, my kind of exposure was this, which was good, not great, while greatness was concurrently going on. It is honestly kind of a good standard Joker book, like a kind of a one and done book about the Joker, and this is kind of just really, in all honesty, just setting the stage for Batman in the New 52. The Onion News Network. Remember, I'm not really big. Don't really read the Onion. Maybe some of you do. But yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, see, this is what I should have been reading right here. This was classic. This would go on to become legendary. See some more action. Nice artwork there with Batman and Gordon there. I really like that. Star Wars Lego there. And the artwork is good. I really am digging this artwork. Yeah, it's kind of, standard Joker story, and eventually Joker is apprehended, sent back to Arkham Asylum, and we'll come back here now. Come back here. Okay. Some mysterious figure at the very end of it just kind of comes in and decides to cut the Joker's face off. And yeah. And next enter the Dollmaker, and this is what led to the Dollmaker as a character being introduced to the DC universe. this is the Dollmaker later went on. He was used in the CW DC universe. I don't mind the character of the Dollmaker. Like, I actually think it's a good character. And actually, what's kind of funny is when Dollmaker was used on the show Arrow, I remember there being an Easter egg of like Dr. Tony T. Daniel. So I always liked those kind of things they did on Arrow. But yeah, this is kind of what introduced the Joker getting his face cut off, which was used in the Batman proper Death of the Family story arc from Snyder and Capullo was referenced there and used there. And basically, that was probably the Detective Comics, New 52 Detective Comics at its peak was this issue and the Dollmaker arc. And yeah, again, I'm glad I bought this book, especially in retrospect. But, just was a little late to the party with Batman proper, but still very happy to have this as part of my comic collection. Yeah, like I was kind of saying before, this was a good issue, and it really did set up a lot of good things to happen, a lot of the big things that happened in the Batman world throughout the New 52, and this issue was good. The Dollmaker story arc that subsequently followed that, I enjoyed, but again, kind of from there, especially after the first year of reading it, I kind of realized, like, okay, this is just kind of an okay book. Not a bad book, but just kind of an okay book. And then when I'm going online and hearing about how some of the greatest story arcs in Batman history are going down on Batman proper, I found myself going, bad call, kid. Bad call. But still was not a bad book, and I was able to, after getting a better job and being able to add more to my pull list, jump into the Batman series other than just Detective Comics and track down the previous issues from Snyder and Capullo that I missed. So I have all of the New 52 Batman and all of the New 52 Detective Comics, and I guess I'm lucky enough to have the best of both worlds. But do you also own issue 1 of New 52 Detective Comics? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of comic books, from the world of pro wrestling, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Go follow me on social media pages like Facebook.com/AthleticGeek89, Twitter @Athletic_Geek89, Instagram @AthleticGeek89, and if you'd like to help improve the channel financially, hit me up on Patreon. It's patreon.com/AthleticGeek89. Other than that, I'm out. Y'all be cool.